There you go. How's it going, everyone? Hello. Hello. Let me see. I think the camera's a bit up. It's a bit too high. Let me see if I can pull it down a little bit. Yeah, there it is. I think that's the perfect height, more or less. There you go. Let's see. There you go. The audio is fine. As always, monitoring the audio to make sure it's okay. Such a pleasure, such an honor as always to be here with you. Always happy to be here. And yeah, I think the light isn't the light a bit too bright. Let me see. I think I can. Just a tiny bit, just to make sure it's not too bright. There you go. I think that's fine. That'll do. That'll have to do. Okay. Nice to have you here. Nice to be here. Well, I don't think we did have a few people here, but well, I was getting prepared to come in. But yeah, some people left YouTube, some people here and then they leave and all that. But yeah, we're going through on YouTube, on Twitch, and yeah, so like, subscribe, and follow, and all that. What you do in each platform, you know what to do in the platform of choice. And yeah, one word about that for just a second before we do the first matter of the day. And while people start arriving, I saw that my friend Michael showed me that some people were having issues, and because of this rule Twitch was going to start to enforce about not allowing like certain, like being more strict about cross streaming. Like you have to give out the same experience of both platforms or on all streaming platforms or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, Twitch. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I don't know what you want. I don't care really. I mean, I just come here. I'm trying to reach as much people as I can with this, and Twitch. I'm sorry. I don't like those stringent rules. I am going to stream on Twitch as long as you let me do my stream and don't bother me. The moment you start bothering me, I will stop it. But I really hope you don't, Twitch. Please, for the sake of everyone, right? I mean, I want to be friends. I really want to be friends. So Twitch, please behave. Be nice. Don't be monopolistic and stupid. That never ends well for anyone. So, chill, Twitch. Just chill. Yeah, that's what we want from you. Okay, Twitch. All right. Rant over. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Twitch, for a rant. I have a rant about grants. Thanks, Marky V. Marky V on Twitch. If you're on Discord, you probably saw a bit of a conversation there. Marky suggested Marky, fantastic Marky. By the way, shout out Marky, amazing Marky. He showed this news about UK providing, UK government providing 380 million pounds for grants, right, in the creative industries. We're talking about this thing. What's it doing? Oh, fucking hell! Yeah, let's make it fix a bit. Okay, so yeah, the thing is, they are giving out 380 million in grants and all that, right? And I was talking to Marky like, oh, it would be nice to apply with Rogue Engine to see if we can get, something out of it. Let's see, some of that, big pie of money. And since they're giving that for UK companies, right? Let's see that. Let's see if, since VCs, don't care about innovation or anything. They just care about anything. You you ask about actual things that will work, or things that are actually going to help people. And no, let's put 10 million in this crypto thing grift, and whatever has more hype, that's where they'll go, right? So fuck VCs, who cares? And I thought, okay, let's go with this. But the problem with this, apparently, is that you never know where the money's going to go to. I'm always so skeptical about these things. I saw that they're going to give that money for sure to all these funds, this non-profits, and all these non-profits are just going to do whatever they want. Like there's the games fund, UK Game Fund, or something like that. It's called UK Game Fund, I think it is, and ukgamesfund.com. They have two different funds. They have the prototype fund and the content fund. And get ready for this. If you're in the US, you're going to be surprised. This is going to be wild for you. This is going to be wild because the amount of money that I think, I don't know what's in their heads compared to what is needed to make games or to make anything actually nowadays with developers or anything. But hear me out. The content fund, the prototype fund, they give you 30k, okay? And you have to have payee employees. This is employees in the system, right? So basically you have to be a funded company or something. You have to be, a profitable company, right? Somehow you have to have money to have paid employees, paid people in your company. And then they give you 30k if you are, if you present yourself well enough. So you have to waste all this money and all this time. Well, initially all this time to apply to this thing to maybe get 30k when you're already kind of okay to pull out some kind of prototype in 3 months or something like that. It's when you already have a company. So you have a company, you're going to launch a prototype now because you have employees. I mean, this is just stupid. They don't understand how the industry works, I think. I don't know. They think that what do they think people can do with that 30k? A company that has talent acquired, that already has paid talent. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Makes no sense whatsoever. And then, well, the content fund is even more ridiculous. Well, I know the prototype fund is probably more ridiculous in like overall, but the content fund, I think what's stupid about it is that you know how like something like Y Combinator, they used to give like $120,000 or something like that. But hey, it was for a company that supposedly the company's going into Y Combinator that will receive the whole package of being put in front of investors and the startup school thing and all these things, right? So you get a bunch of stuff for, apart from the money, and the money is supposed to help you out while you're starting out before you get the demo day, which is the actual thing where you're going to get funded and all that, right? But this thing for the grant, right? You have to go through a process because they put you through a process. It's not that it's just going to give you, of course, they're not just going to give you the money, but they also expect you to be a company with employees that has all of this stuff, but they give you 50k. I mean, 50 to 150k. And I mean, what do they think they're going to do with this? I mean, who needs this? I mean, who is this for? I mean, the companies that have all these employees, they can probably pay 1 or 2 employees with this in a year. And so what is this money for? Really, I don't understand. Are they just trying to give money to those who are already going to make it anyway, right? So it's not really to support new businesses and things like that. It's just to give money away and to add up to this, to add up to that. Think about this. I have received multiple times requests from people like from these satellite companies that come in and start saying, hey, you know, this R&D things, you know, we are agencies that help you get your R&D thing, you know, grants. Okay, so they help you get government grants. Okay, how does it work? Well, you have to pay us monthly a fee, and we'll help you sort of maybe get your grant. What? So I don't have money. I have to pay you money so you can get me money. It's fantastic. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. So apart from it being not that much money, you also have to discount the amount of money that it takes you to hire this agency that get you the grant, because they can rub the shoulders of the people that get you the grants, right? So what kind of thing is this? Like, what game are they playing? Really, what game are they playing? This is stupid. This is not how you do things. You want progress. You know, this is not what you do. This is not what you do. You have to foment more innovation. You know, you don't foment more innovation saying, well, you do well. The moment you're doing well, then we'll give you. What kind of grant is that? You put grants forward telling people, hey, come on, take a risk, because we're going to be there in risk with you. That's what you do. That's how you support businesses being created in the industry, in an industry like game development, which is absolutely ridiculous how risky it is. It's super risky, and you want to get, you know. Now, these people, I don't understand them. I really seriously don't understand them. I think there's, you know, just a few friends of theirs are going to get help. I really hope some of the people that I know will be applying, including Mark. I hope he gets funded with this, because honestly, otherwise I'm going to be so pissed. Mostly because of how amazing the work Mark is doing. And I think the right people should be endorsed and should receive the funding that they were very well deserved. I am not sure if I'm going to waste my time applying for this money. I really hope I'm going to see what the what the stuff they're going to be doing is. This is not political, by the way. This is not a Labour versus Tories thing, because if anything, I'm more left leaning, so I should be more on the, you know, who cares about that? Really, I'm a certitionist. I'm not a politician. I'm anti that. I'm a certitionist. Okay, so no political parties for me. But oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking about certition in this. Sorti. Oh my god, I'm talking about certition here. But yeah, no political parties for me. Okay, this is not political. This is just, hey, what we do with money and what funds do with money that government gives them. I saw the same thing with the Tories back then, so it's the same thing. No, it's just people handling money and being idiots, absolute useless idiots. That's what happens. And, you know, money gets wasted and it's just thrown away. So much money, so much good intentions, probably good intentions, but it's probably just, you know, just to say, you know, it's just salute on the flag and this shit, you know, on that, and that's all that's going to happen. So sad, but hey. First mate. Rant over. I'm very, very sorry I put you through this rant. But it had to be said. It's part of the devlog. It's part of the devlog. You get a devlog, and you get a devlog with the whole thing, right? With the frustrations and everything that happens while you develop these things, while you do this stuff. And like I said, I put in my whole everything on the line for Rogue Engine, for the users, for you. And I really hope it shows. I lost all my hair doing it. Well, no, I was losing it before. But yeah, I wish I could say like I lost all my hair with but no. Yeah, I just wish there was yeah, that it was more fair, I guess. But it's just, you know, it is what it is. You can't just sit down and cry, oh, I wish I had more, I wish more thing. No, you just have to create the opportunities. I'm sorry. Some of these went back in the throat. And you just have to create the opportunities, and you have to try it out very, very hard. Just give your all, and that's all I can do, really. That's all I can really do. I mean, and I have to give it my best, my own best, and that's all I can control. I can't. There are certain things that I cannot control, right? And this dark sides of being, of developing these big projects like this, I really want to leave it here. For posterity, I guess, just to see, just for other people to see it, I guess, to understand what I'm going through as I develop Rogue Engine, and the tooling around it and everything, and how sometimes it can be very scary. Sometimes it can be frustrating, like absolutely frustrating, and I feel like sometimes I feel like it's the worst thing in the world. Sometimes I feel like it's amazing. And sometimes it's the little things that make me feel it's amazing. Incredibly enough, in perspective, maybe the bad things are much worse than the good things, like comparatively. But I guess the reason I'm here still after 5 years, we're about to be 5 years old. Yeah, we'll be 5 years old in August. Oh my God, wow. And the reason I'm still here is because I have never thought about stopping. It's never crossed my mind. I never thought, oh, I should stop. No, I just get by. And somehow, some way, one way or another, I'm just going to pull through. I'm sure of it. Otherwise, I don't know. I still don't understand why I'm going through the. Well, I'm just can't seem to fathom stopping, or just doing anything else. Even though I could be much more comfortable, I could be much better. Honestly, like this is a grind. This is terrible at times. This is just horrible. but I do it anyway. Why? Why do I do this to myself? I could be actually way more comfortable. And I'm in a difficult. I'm in a stupid situation that I'm so far away. Many kilometers away from my family, like thousands of kilometers away from my family. And alone, basically, in this country, with my wife, and we're here, just the two of us. And we're trying to pull our things through, and that's all we're doing, really. And it's frustrating, very frustrating, but we do our best. We try to pull through, and we're very thankful. I'm very thankful of the people that have trusted Rogue Engine so far, of everyone, the users, of course, the people who paid licenses. I mean, you're saving this thing. And for you is that I have to keep loyal to what Rogue Engine is, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And you're the reason I'm still here, I think, because I can't explain it otherwise. I guess those little things add up, that you are part of, have made that motivation happen, that constant bits of motivation that have kept me going, and never even consider despite the whole plethora of bad things, had made me to never consider stopping or giving up. I'm not giving up. As long as you're there, there's no reason for me to give up. So thank you for being there. Oh, so emotional. We're gonna cry. All right. Yes, of course. Let's get started with development. I don't want to bore you with this stuff. Rant over. Okay, let's not get more emotional than we already need to be. Okay. What were we doing last time? Let me show you the camera, the screen. By the way, I'm kind of mad, just a little mad that nobody even say hello in the chat. But I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. If you ever feel to say hello, to say, hey, how's it going, bold dude? It's just, I don't know. But hey, thank you for being there. Let's go on the screen and at least leave a like. At least leave a like or follow or something if you're on Twitch. That'll help. But yeah, rant over. If you didn't even see the rant, go back. You see the rant there. if you're interested. I don't know. I think people are interested in that kind of stuff, I guess. I don't know. That's the feedback I've gotten, but I don't know. Let's make a game. like we always do. All right. So where were we? Okay, we were doing the spawns and the waypoints on spawn. Yeah, we had the waypoints on spawn. Okay, but the issue we had was that yeah, we get these guys fighting, right? And they fight and all that, and they kill this guy. And then when these lads arrive, and oh my god, they're slow. They're so slow. Yeah. We made them slow, right? So it's our fault. But they start fighting, but then they forget that they need to keep moving. Oh no, they don't forget. We made them change positions, but the problem is that when they swap, we give them the waypoints again, like all of the waypoints. Right. What happens is that when they kill us here, right? They come here, they kill these guys, and then they go, oh, okay, now we receive all the waypoints back again, like the original waypoints. And somehow this length is perceived as small. Wait, no. It's because it changes the origin, I think. Yeah, to here. Okay, yeah. Look at the waypoints, right? We have the first waypoint, the second waypoint. It goes through this waypoint. It comes here. It changes waypoints. It says, okay, you are now my waypoint. You are now my current waypoint that I have to fight. So they start fighting these guys, right? So they fight them. And then they receive these waypoints here back, right? This list of waypoints where they have to sort of transit to get to the other side to the goal. The problem is that when they finish these guys here and they receive these waypoints, they should be coming to this one, right? To the third one, but they're going back to this one, to the second one, right? Because they come to the first one and they take their origin as the first one. And when it checks that, okay, where the distance they're from, and that they're past the distance and their origin from their current waypoint that they have, which is this one, right? So they come to this one, right? So it changes waypoints, and when they change the waypoint, they use the new origin and they say, oh, this is the current waypoint because you're way past the distance, because you're still not past the distance, right? So as from the origin, right? So they come here, it takes their new position, like this position, as the origin. That's the problem. So they will have to go back again and then come back, right? So when they reach this waypoint, they'll receive the new waypoint, which is the next one, right? So that's the problem we have right now. Maybe a good way to resolve this would be to use the position of the waypoint as the origin. That could be it, like as a new origin. That could be a solution. But we thought about, like, that could be an easy solution if we can make that happen. But I'm not sure if it will work. Let's check out what we have here, a code. Where are we setting the new origin? Yeah, by the way, we're doing this whole next waypoint thing and all that, and getting the waypoints. We're probably going to abstract this somewhere else. Still don't know. Still trying to figure that out. Let's we have all these waypoints, current index 0 when we're resetting them. Then we're adding, okay, go to the next waypoint. We're telling it by augmenting the index. And and we're setting the origin to be the object's current position as they reach the waypoint. Maybe it should be the current waypoint, right? Right, maybe current waypoint, that position. Maybe this should be it. Maybe this will work. I don't know. Let's test it out. Let's test it out and see. Oh no, it didn't work because you see they are all they are all in place. Okay, no, wait. Yeah. So I did something wrong here, definitely. Yeah, I know. I think we need a proper solution for this. We need a proper solution. I think the proper solution for this is to keep track of the waypoints, and maybe we shouldn't remove the current waypoint index of this minion. We're talking about the fact that how the way we receive the waypoints, it's not an RTS way, right? It's a tower defense way. So we want to resume, the transition that we were doing, right? We're moving from point A to point B, but as we reset it, when we get this, well, let me show you. Oh, right. Yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't do that because here's the thing: when we reset it, what I was thinking is we're not resetting it, we're getting the new waypoint when we get the enemy, and we say, okay, just go fight that enemy. I'm thinking, one solution could be to not I mean, the proper solution, here's the thing, right? Maybe a proper solution would be to have a star system, like a proper pathfinding system. We could add that, but I think it's overkill for a tower defense like this. I think it's way overkill. Like, I don't think we need it, like, because we could calculate, okay, we should do a recalculation of path from here, and that's it, right? But I would like a simpler way that it does not require because I think that every minion will have to do an A-star calculation every time. So we'll get into more trouble than we need, I think. When we could do a very simple calculation, right? I think for some games that may be, necessary, like for an RTS game probably. But for these, like for the tower defense, it's overkill. So I want to let you do that. This is a template. This shouldn't be very complex. This should leave you flexibility enough to do, okay, I want to add more complexity. I want to bring in a star algorithm. And I want to bring pathfinding and things like that, which you don't need here really. Because this is very straightforward, right? So yeah. How can we do this then? I would like, what I would like is for the minion to keep, for the minion to still consider the enemy part of its waypoint when it's in move mode, right? So I'm in move mode, I move towards the enemy, right? And not to just keep the old waypoints and say, oh, this is, my old waypoint. the thing is, since it's very tower defense specific, it shouldn't be anything specific to tower defense, like a tower defense moving mechanism. It shouldn't be part of the minion itself. It should be part of the game logic, which is the tower defense game logic, right? And I would like the minion to be one of those generic things you can throw at an RTS game, right? And say, hey, this is a minion, an RTS or tower defense minion, or anything you want, really. Could be surely in any game, just not just an RTS, right? Just a sort of minion that you can extend to create all the things, right? Say, hey, autonomous AI character. Let's call it that. Because not necessarily an enemy, it's not necessarily, it could be a friend, it could be an NPC, it could be something like that. Well, the moment it moves, I don't know. I don't know about NPCs. NPCs have it's I'm not too content about the NPC name. I think it's kind of fake. I think the moment they speak and the moment they interact with the scene and with you, they're no longer NPCs. They're part of the game. And that means they're playing it. They're playing you. Mostly when you have those reactive NPCs, that react to things you say and do, that's very far from being an NPC, Think how we are all still connected to that. I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took an arrow in the knee. We're still talking about that. Who speaks about the missions? We all talk about that. That's the meme. So that's the game. And they're playing it. They're playing all of us. The NPCs. The revenge of the NPCs. Yeah. They are the real players. The NPCs. Okay, we got philosophical. Let's what happened here? What happened here? Let's see. Is this something wrong? That breaks something. I don't know what happened here. I don't think anything broke. Oh yes, something broke. Okay, yes. Remember that I had that black screen over there. It's because I had one of these things selected. I'm using, as always, I am using a the latest development. Well, this is not the latest. It's the latest stable development version, and the latest stable development version has bugs, of course, right? So because I'm testing, like stress testing all the features. And so, yeah, we need to reset this project because it's broken. I can't select something sometimes. If I have selected and I press play, stop and all that, and it kind of breaks because of the new selection mechanism. So you won't have that issue, but yeah, I have that issue. So be careful with that. Be mindful of the situation that we will encounter here while we're making this stuff. And sometimes those bugs break all the things. That's how it is. All right. Okay, so we're moving towards an enemy. Like it's a waypoint. Like we're moving towards, one of these waypoints that we have. And so we look at that waypoint, we set a rotation, we move straight. That's all we do. We just move, rotate towards a waypoint and we move straight, right? We're going to do the smooth rotation thing later on. I want to do it in a simple way that, it's not too complicated. I don't know, we could do it a very quaternion way, or we could do it more. I could give you probably some tips on how to handle rotations when you don't know much about how to handle the math and all that. There are some tricks that I could show you. We're gonna do that, right? Because right now it's just kind of switching positions. They're not smoothly rotating, and that's kind of annoying, I know, but hey, it's what it is right now. Yeah. So what did we do? what do we do? How do we handle this waypoints? So what we're doing here in the game logic is where is it that we're doing this? We are removing the dead minions, right, and setting waypoints to idle minions. So when the minions we see that there are minions that have no targets, right? Here, right? We're checking in every frame to see if we have minions without targets. And if we have minions without targets, we go to that minion and say, hey, you know, here are waypoints for you. So we're giving them back their waypoints, like the waypoints that we've set for everyone. The question is, should we be doing it that way? Should we be giving them all the waypoints? Or maybe we should be giving them only the waypoints they haven't, you know, they have left towards the target, right, to reach the target. And how do we do this then? I think if we think about it like a line, like drawing a line from the start, like from the first waypoint to the second one, right? So say we draw a line, imagine this line. I want you to imagine a line, but we're going to do it. I'm going to show it to you with a mouse so that you can see my reasoning. So we draw a line from here to here, and then from here to this one, to this guy, okay? So, hey, just imagine here to here, okay? So how do we draw that line to make sure that we are in the middle, like in between two waypoints, right? And then we go to the second one, to the next one, and not to the previous one. We don't want to go to the closest one. We want to go to the next one, right? So in order to know that, what we can do is we can say, okay, here to here, so we could check the distance to the waypoint, to one waypoint, compared to the distance with the next waypoint, right? So if I'm here, right, and my distance to this waypoint will be higher than the distance to this waypoint, right? Like, sorry, let me say that again, because I didn't say it correctly. My distance from here to this waypoint will be higher than the distance from this waypoint to the other waypoint. You see what I mean? Like this distance, this line, right? This line will be smaller than this line, like the line drawn by having, you know, this guy here. Like that, right? Like having this guy here, like from this guy to this waypoint, right? So this line will be much larger. So we have to check that distance from here to here. Like the proper way we were doing it in the beginning, well, we were doing it with the start then, you know, we thought we were doing it with the start, but let's do it with the next waypoint, because that way we know exactly where we need to go. So if our distance to a waypoint, like how do we think of this? If our distance to a waypoint, right, to a specific waypoint, yeah, because we can think of it like in both ways, right? If a distance to a waypoint is smaller than the distance from that waypoint to the previous one, right? Or we can do it as in our distance to because we're always going to be thinking of from point 1, like say this is 0, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So let's look at it this way, okay? Let's think our distance from point 1, so always going point 1, we're never going to check the distance with point 0, right? We're going to check the distance from point 1, so it's always the next waypoint, right? We always assume next. So if we're starting from 0, we're going to look at 1. So we say, okay, if our distance from point 1 to point 2, our distance from point 1 towards point 1 is greater than the distance from point 0 to point 1. Sorry, it's smaller than the distance from point 0 to point 1. We know we are around here, somewhere between those 2 points, right? Our line is smaller, so we know that we have to go to point 1, right? Then we check, but there's another thing. We could be around here as well, right? We are somewhere in this radius, right? We're somewhere around here. So if we look at the next waypoint then, right? So then we need to transit waypoints until we find a waypoint. Okay, this is the waypoint we need to go to. So the next waypoint, right? Say we're on this radius, right? We say, okay, are we closer to like the line between this waypoint and the next, right? We check this line and we say, are we closer from this waypoint or this waypoint, right? No, sorry. Again, I'm trying to articulate my thoughts, but it's really hard. It's really hard. I'm really trying. I'm very, very sorry. Oh my God. Oh wow, this is so hard to articulate. If oh shit, I'm standing here, okay? If my distance to this waypoint is smaller than this one, than the distance between these 2 points, which is not, then it means, oh, I have to go to point 1. I can't go to point 2. You see? That's kind of what's going on here. That's kind of what we have to do. So, you know, we're sort of discarding points at that point, right? We're saying, okay, from point 0 to point 1, from point 1 to point 2, right? And then we say, okay, if we're here, right, we're always going to check the next point. When we reach a point where we know, okay, we're not there, then we say, okay, we stop, right? That's how I think how we solve it. Hey, Friendmaster 2000, I hope you're having fun with my terrible explanation. It's going to be clear. I promise it's going to be clear once I write it down. The problem is that it's in my head, and I'm trying to sort of extract it from my brain and put it into words in a different language even, right? So I'm making it hard to understand. I'm making it very confusing. I'm you know, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm being terrible. Absolutely terrible. Today, definitely, I started with a rant from Master 2000. I started with a rant. So, you know, if you want to see my rant, you want to hear my rant, you have to go back, like the beginning of the stream, and you'll see my rant. 2 rants. I had 2 rants. That's just too many. That's 2 rants too many. But hey, we had fun. We're always gonna have fun. Yeah. Let's write this down. Brilliant, friend Master 1000. Yes. Don't let Twitch tell you not to do that. It was that was the rant actually. The rant was about Twitch kind of trying to like censor or, you know, banning people that, or saying at least that they will ban people who don't provide the same experience in the platforms, or like take people from the platform to other platforms and things like that, which is kind of ridiculous. So that was a rant about, that was what the rant was about. The first one. The second one was about grants. So it's a rant about grants. Yes. That's how it was. Okay. Grants in the UK, at least. I don't know. Well, in Uruguay, it's the same. In Uruguay, it's the same, I think. Yeah. You don't have those agencies that, sort of help you allocate grants for a fee, right? Which is so dodgy. It's so dodgy. But yeah, it's just they're friends of friends giving grants to friends because they go to certain universities. That's how it works. And they're related to the same people and all that. Yeah, yes, that's how it works, You have to be well off to get a grant and then have good friends in the right places. It's amazing, right? In a country that has no funding at all, basically, right? God, that's so bad. Okay. Okay, let's do that check then, okay? Should we do this here? Yes, let's do that here. Let's when we give this minion the waypoints, let's filter them. We have the minion. Oh, Friend Master says, by the way, I have another question for you. Go ahead and ask it, mate. Go ahead and ask it. I'll when we're finished with this little algorithm that I have to write here, I'll answer your question. I love answering questions, and you know that. So just bring question. Anyone has questions, bring them in the chat. I'll answer them. And by the way, thank you for writing in the chat. Just saying hello in the chat. That's a lot. That really helps. YouTube really likes it. And Twitch really likes it and all that. Yeah, YouTube doesn't know that you're there, but hey, Twitch does, I guess. So thank you very much for being there. I have a couple of people on Twitch, but hey, it still helps. Thank you so much for being there. And yeah, remember the live stream is about you and your questions. This is more of an excuse to be here. The game development itself. But yeah, if you have questions, you are the priority and you get full priority after in the breaks, so that I don't get to spread out. But okay, so okay, we know that this minion needs new waypoints, right? Oh, I forgot to remove the thing. It's just annoying. This Copilot thing. I don't have time to look into that. So let's look at waypoints. Okay, let's look at waypoints. Begin to say that for let waypoint of this waypoint. Okay, and we're just going to give the right waypoints to our friend here. Okay, so we're just going to fill up the waypoints as we find them. We're just going to say here, we're just going to do this. We're just going to clean it up, and it's going to say here, we're going to say minion waypoint 0, I guess. We're setting the origin here. Yeah, we're doing this thing with the origin. I don't like it. No, origin should be our position. Let's just say this, the object 3D position. Yeah, let's just set that as the origin. Current waypoint is index 0. Let's do that. That's fine. In fact, let's start. We should probably start with 1 because we're not at 0. Definitely not at 0. We know that for a fact. So we start with 1. And now it starts with 1, like Linkin Park said. It starts with 1. So what we do here? Okay, this the waypoints. No, sorry. We have the waypoint there. I'm an idiot. So we need to check if. Look at this. We need to check. We want to check that if this is our waypoint. Is this the waypoint that we're looking for? How do we know if this is the waypoint we're looking for? Because our distance to the next waypoint, or is it this waypoint and we use the previous? We're not using 0, so it should be this waypoint, like our distance this waypoint, and we look at the previous. So we always start in 1 and we look if we are behind, right? That's what we do. Yes. So we say yeah, we need a proper for loop. Yeah, we need a proper for loop. Yeah, let's say I equals 0, I smaller than this, the waypoints dot length, and yeah, I plus plus. And we say if I no, let's do this. Let's first assign. Let's make assignments. Const waypoint, right? Is let's call it next waypoint point equals this dot waypoint I plus 1, right? So this is the next one, and we'll say that waypoint, yeah, no, probably let's put it before this, because yeah, let's not do things all the way around, the other way around. And let's call it prev waypoint equals this the waypoints I, right? So we have the previous one and the current one, okay? And what we're going to do is, we know we are between one and another waypoint. We're very likely to be between 2 waypoints, like always. We're always going to be between 2 waypoints because we're always moving to a waypoint, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say previous waypoint equals so if our distance to the next waypoint is smaller than the distance from previous waypoint to next waypoint, that's what we want to check. Okay, so what we do is const our this to waypoint, I would say minion dot object 3d dot position dot distance to, I say next. You see how it wanted to do previous waypoint? We don't, you know, they don't know, the thing doesn't know what we're doing. It doesn't understand. So just do whatever you have to do. Don't listen to it. So next waypoint position. Yeah. So and then we say const no, not previous. This is already, I know this is just what this is just it is. No. What we want to know is the waypoint distance is yeah, this is the prev waypoint dot position dot distance to next waypoint dot position. Yeah, this is what we want. Good, that was a good suggestion then. After we wrote everything, it understood what we need to do. So we say so if object distance to waypoint, right, to yeah, to the next waypoint would be, right, is smaller than waypoint distance, right, y by 0.5. I don't why did my mouse go crazy there? Okay, so my mouse got totally there stuck, and okay, so we say then this is our waypoint, so we say our distance is smaller than our distance is smaller than the distance to the next waypoint, right? So sorry, our distance to the next waypoint is smaller than the distance between both waypoints. We know we're in the middle of 2 waypoints, right? So what we do is we want to select the next one, or we want to keep going, right? We need to keep going to the next one probably. And yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Should we discard this? Should we keep these? Huh. So we should probably discard from before. Because if we need to check the next one, that's a problem. We should check. Well, in the next round, we're going to check which one we need to go to, right? We know here that we can go to this waypoint, okay? So at this point, like at this point, if the distance is smaller, like if our distance, we are closer to the other waypoint, we could be anywhere in the radius of the waypoint, right? We could be anywhere around here, right? If we're thinking about 0 and 1, right? So we could be anywhere around here. So we're okay. We know we need to keep going and keep looking, right? So now maybe what we need to check is the other way around then. We need to check if our distance is greater than, and so we break the loop and we say, well, what happens when, you know, that's not the case, right? So say we are here, right? So the next one, we go and check, hey, our distance is greater than this one to this one. Then we say, oh no, okay. See what I mean? Well, smaller than. So we check, yeah, we need to check the greater than that rather than the smaller than. So when our distance to the waypoint is greater than the distance between both waypoints, we know we have to keep the current, right, the previous waypoint, right? So let's call this just waypoint. Okay, let's just call this waypoint. Let's just rename, let's just name it to waypoint. Yeah, and we know we need to get all the waypoints from this one to the rest of the waypoints, right? So what we do is we say minion.waypoints equals no, I think from there on is fine. Yeah, from I. We need to splice from I think. Because we want this waypoint. Yeah. I think, yeah. And we break here, right? So we break here. And yeah, we do this. And so we're checking the waypoints. We break here, we get our way. Oh, wait, will we break? I don't think, yeah, I think we break this one. We'll see. I think it breaks this one first, but I don't know. I'm not sure now. I'm concerned now. I'm a bit concerned. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I don't remember how that works. I don't remember the last time I tried it, so I don't know. I don't remember how it works. We'll find out. We'll find out. If someone knows this, I'm confused now. Which one does it break? I don't know. I remember the last time I used in this way with nested for loops like this. So I don't know. I hope it's doing this one. Otherwise, we'll just do a search. Like we'll just, which in fact we should do it. We should do it anyway. So let's do that. Let's say I'm kind of curious. I want to find out. Let's just do it like this way, because we may get false positives until we actually test it. So let's just do it this way. Get waypoints, and we'll call this we'll do this here. And what do we need for this? What do we need for this? We need the minion. Yeah, so we need a minion, which is a minion. And what else? Well, nothing else really. There you go. And what we'll do is, yeah, we'll just call it set waypoints. Set minion waypoints. We'll call it that. Because that's what we're doing actually. We're just setting the minions waypoints. And yeah. So we'll call this that set minion waypoints, and we'll call the minion here, and we'll be done. There you go. So why are we doing this then? Well, we could actually just take the eye and keep going, but we'll just put it to 0, because now the first waypoint is 0. That's as much as we know. So we're just gonna reset it directly there, and we know we're going to go from 0 to the next one. We don't know what the previous one is. We're just gonna start from 0 because we're getting a fraction of them. So oh, by the way, something else I wanted to do is, when we're setting, because I just realized this, we're passing in a reference of the waypoints, but I really don't like it. I really don't like that. So what we're going to do is, instead we're going to pass in a separate array. Like, instead of a reference to the array, to the waypoints array, because if we make any modifications, it's going to be a problem. So yeah, let's not let that happen. And yeah, that's okay, right? That's okay. We'll be moving in that way, and set minion waypoints. Yeah, this should work now. Yeah, let's try it out. Okay. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. We'll try. They're moving. Okay, so we have movement. We didn't break anything. That's good. That's a good sign. That's generally a good sign. These minions are standing there because, okay, they're fighting now. They found the target. They're fighting. They go in there. They're saying fight. Oh, okay. So they're going to this one, but this one is going to that one. It's skipped away. Okay, so it works and it doesn't at the same time. So it worked and it doesn't work. Both. It did sort of what we wanted, and it sort of didn't. All at once. Fantastic. It's amazing. Yeah. So that's great. But it kind of did. Okay. Well, let's look at questions here. Let's look at our friend Master saying he was going to ask a question. So let's look at here in the chat. We have friend Master here in the chat on Twitch. You could be on the chat as well there. You know, we can see you. Where is it? There. Oh, I learned directions. I learned camera directions. You could be over there, but you are not. There. Yeah. Let's use this hand, right? Let's say over there, but you are not. You're not over there because you are not writing in the chat like FriendMaster2000 on Twitch. Where's the YouTube? Where are you, YouTube chatters? Yeah, damn you. Why aren't you chatting? FriendMasters2000 saying, by the way, I have another question for you. Okay, I've been looking at Rogue Animator package. It's pretty straightforward. Understand most of it. Now I'm looking at Rogue Quarks. Amazing. I thought it was... But what was the question, mate? Let me know what you need to know about, if it's about one of those packages or something. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions there. And yeah, the animator package is very straightforward. Simply get your animations in there and then just use them from your script, from your animation script. It kind of gives you a nice way to transition them. You know, it gives you like an animator system. That's very simple to use, like in the in your controller. It's like it's like you can see it working. You can see it at work in the video that I made. In the if you haven't watched it, the third-person controller video I did, look it up in the YouTube channel. You know, bscript that you'll find it. Yeah, and in that video, I'm using the animator. I'm putting in the animations, and then I'm using them from my controller. It's a very short script. It's so simple because really it makes it so simple to just grab the animations and mix them, and you can mix them with like smoothly and do all these sort of little tricks there. So it's nice. I think it's you know, simple. It's a good combination of simple and nice. It's not an amazing animation system. Doesn't have all the incredible things, but for most 90% of things that you're going to do on the web, is fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, it's going to solve most of your problems anyway. So yeah, great. Let me know what the question is, mate. And yeah, let's keep going. So we have set minion and minion waypoints. Okay, so what's the problem here? What's the problem here? Oh mate, what's the problem here? We're going from 0.0 to 0.1. We check the distances, and let me see. Wait. You posted the question afterwards. Oh, but where did you post the question, mate? Let me know where you posted it. Let me know where you posted it, and I'll answer it, mate. Okay. So we have this waypoint here and this waypoint here. There's no chance that a minion here finds their position to this waypoint is smaller than their position towards this waypoint. Like the distance towards this waypoint. Like from here, I mean, can their position be from here to here? Can it? Because maybe it can. I don't know. Because what it's doing is coming here and saying, it was just one minion, but it happened to just one minion. But what happened was, the minion was fighting here and said, hey, I'm fighting this minion here, right? And then stopped fighting. I was idle, and the game logic came here and said, okay, from 0 to 1, what's your distance? Compare, you know, the distance from 0 to 1 is great. Is it great? Is it no? From 1 to u is greater than the distance from 0 to 1, and it said yes, right? So it is greater, right? Our distance from 0 to no, is it? That's a problem. Wait, yeah, we did something wrong here. So if our distance, fucking hell. So if this is 0.0 and this is 0.1, right? And our distance is, say, well, we did something wrong here. If our, yeah, I made a mess. I'm sorry, I made a mess. This is real. This is happening here. Okay, I didn't plan this. This is just happening here. Emmanuel Algar joining us here, saying, I need to follow this. Also making a game engine using JS. Cool, mate. Good luck with it. It's a mess. Yeah. Yeah, this is a tool to use Three.js. That's our engine basically. But yeah, if you want to make games, just make games. It's gonna be a mess. But good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. It's gonna be making an engine, and that's it. That's gonna be life from now on. It's cool. It's cool. But it's just, yeah, gonna be making games more sporadically. Or like me, I'm making a game and I'm making a tool to make a game. I should be making a game, but no, I'm making a tool to make the game. Yeah, it's great. Why? And I'm making the tool with the tool to make games. I'm making the tool to make games. So I'm not making a game. I'm lying to everyone. I'm not making a game. I'm just making a template, which is a tool, right? The tooling to make tower defense games with the tool to make games that I made. Oh, I can get confused just thinking about it. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd say just run the fuck away. Run away. I would say, but hey, what am I to say? If you want to know, just watch the rant I did at the beginning of the video. I love this, but hey, yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, so Friendmaster asking about Rogue Animator. There's 2 lines in the script that just say this.mixer, not setting anything or calling a function. The line just says this.mixer. Why do a couple of lines just say this.mixer? I think I'm using the getter for mixer. That's probably it. Because probably the getter for mixer is doing something, and so just calling it it's just naming the line uses the getter, I guess, and then it does the procedure to to set up the mixer. I know it's very unintuitive though. Surely that's kind of very, very unintuitive, very ugly, because I should be able to know exactly what's going on, and you should too when you read those lines of code. So that's very poor programming from me. 100%. Thing is, I usually know why I do that, and since I'm doing it by myself, it's like, yeah, it's calling the cat which does stuff. But it's kind of weird, right? I mean, yeah, it's, if you know it has a getter, right, it's obvious. But then if you don't know that it has a getter, then why even just saying mixer, right? Mixer. It's just like, when you read the code, you kind of have to assume that something's going on, but it's kind of shit, isn't it? Like, why are you doing this? Who are you? Why are you doing this to me? Yeah, so yeah, man. Yeah. So okay, what kind of shit did I do now? What mess did I get myself into? So we're looking at our distance from towards the next waypoint, right? And the distance, we're checking if the distance, hard distance to the next waypoint is greater than the distance between previous waypoint and that waypoint. So the reason is because we want to know if we are between those 2 waypoints. If we are, well, yeah, we want to know if you're between those 2 waypoints, basically, right? Or within the radius of the betweens that we could be, right? It's just, I know it's a strange way to say it, but it's just, in this radius, basically, right? That is between 0 and 1, right? We want to know if we are you anywhere here? And so you say, no, I'm not. So you just keep going and you say, okay, now, are you anywhere from here to here, right? So from 1 to 2, and we say, you know, would be in the range of 2. Like, are you anywhere here? Right, well, no, it would be like, okay, yeah. So this is the distance. This is that distance. So check this out, right? We are encompassing this one too, right? So is our distance, like, we're about here when we fight, right? So a fight ends about here. And is our distance to this waypoint greater than the distance from this waypoint to this waypoint? And we say, no, it's not. Maybe that's what's going on then. And so it goes here, right? Because he comes here and says, oh, is this distance greater? And then it changes, right? So that's the problem. Which is strange because we are actually giving it the previous waypoint, right? So if we're giving it the previous waypoint, I mean, yeah, that's the reason why we're doing it, right? I mean, we're saying when we have the waypoint here and the next waypoint is this one, we're checking this too. We know the answer is no, right? Are we closer from this? Are we, sorry, is our distance greater than these two distances? Than this distance? We say no. Okay, but is our distance greater than to this one than to this one? And it says now from this one to this one. Is this greater than this? Yeah. This is shit. And by the way, your frustration makes for great content. So, the fact that I'm suffering makes you feel good. Yeah, it's it's very appreciating. Thank you very much for watching me suffer. I lose all my hair. I'm just gonna find myself a greater challenge then. I'm just gonna come here and suffer in front of you, and you know, humiliate myself, just put myself out there. You know, next time I'll come here with a wig. And just humiliate myself even more. You know. I think my wife has a wig somewhere. I'm gonna bring my wig one day. I'm gonna take that wig from her. I'm gonna put that wig on and come here live with a wig on. What do you say? Should I come with a wig on? I've come here with hats, with bandana. I still haven't used a wig. I could use a wig. I could definitely come here with a wig. That'll be fun. Oh yeah. Probably just, you know, say that it's someone else. It's just someone else from the team coming in and you know, just working on the game for me that day. Just taking over. Another serious question. Why do they call you Beard? Well, because I'm bald, so they call me Beard. Yeah. Because I'm probably I don't know. Probably because of that. Probably because of having a beard. But hey, could be that. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I know. I figured you were joking. That's why I answered with a stupid answer. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a serious answer. Like, why are you asking that? But I know it's a You got a stupid answer. That's what you get. But okay, so this system that we built is absolute shit, garbage, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why just now. Because if you're making an S, for instance, right, we're going through this like an S, right? Sometimes you could end up being closer to the next one, closer to like if you're in part of the S, like in this bit here, right? You could be like if you're here, right? You may be closer to this waypoint than to this one. See what I mean? So you could be closer to the next waypoint than to this waypoint. So that is a problem. That is a big problem. We don't want that problem. We really do not want that problem. We want happiness, right? Don't we? We want to be happy here. We want to do things right, don't we? Well, I don't know. Do we? So I think what we do is we do this in a proper way. This is not the way in which we do this. This is not it. This is not it. There must be a more mathematically definitive way to do this, and there definitely is, and we're just being idiots. I'm just being an idiot. I'm just including you so I don't feel alone being an idiot. You know, it's sad to be alone and idiot. You know, just if you're going to call yourself an idiot, you know, just include other people. Are you building custom pathfinding? I'm building complex pathfinding. The idea, yeah, is to have some kind of custom pathfinding, and it's yeah, sort of like a simpler pathfinding, right? Because we want like a proto pathfinding. The idea is using something that doesn't need like a search algorithm, like an A star or something like that, and leave you to do your A star, like add an A star or something to your own game. Because adding an A star means we have to do mapping and all that, and you probably don't need that for a tower defense. So if we can make this work without that, we can imagine every minion that ends a fight going out and thinking, oh, I have to look for my best position to get to there, you know. So if we can not do that, we'll be freeing up a lot of processing time. So let's try and do that. Let's try and solve it. You know, this is good problems to solve, because these things help with efficiency. You know, so let's be more efficient, but let's be smarter about it. You know, usually people go with, okay, let's do A star and that's it. But no, I want to think about the problem now. How can we do this more efficiently? And yeah, this Sock D saying will this be pay to win? This will be. Will this be pay to win? I'm thinking about it. Probably pay to play. Probably you pay, you play, and whoever pays more wins. But we make it a lottery, and you put money, right? And then everyone shows their faces. Like, yeah, we see like a lottery, you know, and everyone shows their face. And if we like your face, and you paid money, you win. But you have to compete with everyone else, right? And depending on who's watching, they may like some people more than others. So those people sometimes some people will win and others will not, right? So, you know, you could get some very racist people there doing mad stuff. So it can be very bad. It can be, yeah. I think this game is going to be terrible, man. It's going to be a terrible game. It's probably going to get cancelled. It's going to get cancelled. The game's going to get cancelled. The developer's going to get cancelled. Everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to die. I think this game's going to be terrible. Definitely. Yeah, it's just going to be bad, man. It's just going to be bad. I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it. nav mesh isn't supported by Three.js, but you can try DOM occur the Three.js nav mesh module. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? I don't want to add more complexity to this specific thing, because the idea is that if we can make this with least amount of things, so that if you want to add an app mesh, you add an app mesh to your game, right? But making it like a requirement, okay, for this to work, you also need an app mesh, and you need this, and you need to set it up, and you need to know what it is, and you need to know. If we can make it simple, like just set up waypoints, and it knows to go from point A to point B, and it kind of has, this little randomness to it, because that's the thing as well. We want to have some randomness, so it gives us some freedom to say, don't just find the best path from here to here, right? Sort of, let's try to see if we can get from sort of here to sort of here, and go from point A to point B. And then if you want to do that with an A-star algorithm and do something like that, you do that, right? And you have the freedom to extend it, right? That's the idea behind this. Is it very lean and let you do the, your own specific stuff for your game, because maybe you want to use this as a base for an RTS, which is very, I think it would be appropriate. But yeah, like I said, this will be a pay to win, maybe pay to lose, I think pay to lose is much more fun. If you pay a lot, you lose, and yeah, I think that makes more sense, right? Yeah, I would like to pay to lose game, but you don't know you're going to lose. That's the thing. You think you're going to win, but you pay and you lose. Great. I would love that. I would love to make a game like that. I think it's called a casino, but I don't know. I don't want to name names or anything. I just want to say I think people at casinos haven't invented that already. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't want, I'm just saying. I don't mean to be mean. Yeah. Okay. So how do we make this work the proper way? Pull this full thing up. Do I look like a priest? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it looks like a priest, doesn't it? Yeah, it's too much. Yeah. Maybe the waypoints should reference each other like a linked list. Well, the thing is, it's the same because we know what the next waypoint is and what the previous waypoint is. So there's really no waypoint to that. Oh no, that's the bad joke. Oh my god, that was so bad. I feel bad. That was like a dad joke, and I'm not a dad. I don't have children. I promise I don't have children. But I just said a dad joke. I'm just 33. I shouldn't be saying dad jokes. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I don't know if I can forgive myself. I really don't know if I can forgive myself for this. I have to actually sleep with myself tonight. So I'm just gonna try to pull through, okay? I'm very sorry about this. I'm gonna do better. I promise. No more dad jokes. Okay? I think it's, I don't know. Yeah. Probably my dad's age when he had me, so I don't know. Maybe a thing, maybe related. So, the problem we have is that we could be at a greater distance. That's the thing. We should be catching the first one. Right? Okay, let's do a simulation here, right? Okay. We're about here. Right? We're about here. Let's grab this guy. Let's just move him around. Let's put him here. Okay. So let's do a bit of a simulation. So are we closer from point 1? So are we closer from point 1 than we are from point 0? Sorry, look what I did. Are we closer from point 1 than point 1 is from point the point 0 is from point 1? Oh my god. And we say yes, we are. So we keep going. Next, are we closer from point 2 than point 2 is than point 1 is from point 2? Yes. So we keep going. Are we closer from point 3 than point 2 is of point 3? I don't know. Maybe. That's the answer. Because if we say if point 3 was here, like if this was a curve that was doing this, right? And point 3 was here, should be a problem. So I think the solution to this there is no good solution to this. There is no nice solution to this. That doesn't involve rethinking this a lot more. Friend Master saying, it's fine, I'm 46, and a dad. Dad jokes are kind of my thing. Okay, I leave them to you. Because I really don't want to get into dad joke territory yet. You know, I don't have children. I don't think I'll ever have children. I don't know. But hey, I mean, I'm still a little baby. I can't be saying, you know, I can't be saying dad jokes. I just can't, mate. I just no. I'm still a little baby. I'm still coming out of my mom's belly. I'm still there. I think I'm still there. You know. So yeah. Let's rethink this. So okay, so if we're closer, let's think that we are closer to point 2 than point 3 and we are at point 1. Sorry. Yeah, again. Are we closer from point 2? From point 3 than we are. That point 2 is a point 3. Imagine we say yes. Then it will go to point 4. Straight up. It will not even stop. It'll just go straight there. That's crazy. That's crazy. We don't want that kind of crazy here. We don't want that kind of crazy. For crazy, I'm enough. I'm enough for crazy here. We don't need more crazy. Okay? It's just enough with me. Okay? So we need a solution. Our solution will be we'll call this the waypoint conundrum. Okay? And we're trying to solve this in a stupid way. That's the thing, right? We're trying to be funny. We're trying to be hacky. We're trying to do this without resulting in having to bring in, you know, an A star for each one of these every frame. We're checking out this, and then, you know, all the guys who had to change paths suddenly we do an A star and we give them waypoints. No, we're not going to do that. That's too much. That's too much for us right now. So we want an actual or an app mesh, way more expensive. We don't want something more expensive. We want some waypoints and to know which waypoint we go from point A to point B. So the reason, if we want this system, we should have our maps be adapted to this system, right? So we should make sure that our maps are mapped to being, sort of made for this system, right? So we can't have this sort of S's, and that's a problem. We want to have this sort of S's in the map, right? Or we could have another waypoint here. If this waypoint were here, and we have like a minion about here fighting, we'd be closer to this than to this, and that would be a problem. So maybe we should look at this from a next waypoint perspective, right? So from a previous to next waypoint perspective, instead of doing the next previous thing, right? So saying, okay, 0, maybe it was the original one that I was thinking about. That was the current one, right? This happens a lot. You're thinking about something and no, maybe it's the other way around, right? Because reasons, and then you end up not doing the thing that was actually correct, the thing that was in your mind in the first place. Yeah. Game development, fun, engaging, not confusing at all. Very fun, very efficient, and very nice. Mostly when you're an excellent developer like me, right? Yeah. I'm just resilient. I don't give up. That's all, really. Yeah. Okay, so what we do is 0, 1. Think of the oh fuck, yeah, just think probably the other way, right? Let's think of this the other way around. Let's turn this thing around, okay? Let's think of 0 to 1, okay? Are we closer from 0 than 0 is to 1, right? So this way, right? So we say so if we are around here, we know we are around this area, right? So we'll say go to 1. Imagine that, okay? We say go to 1 because, yeah, let's think of that. Let's go with it. And let's say are we closer from 0 than we are to 1? Wait, but what if 0 is here, right? Are we closer to 0 than we are to 1? And maybe we are, because maybe 0 is here. Are we closer to 0 than we are to 1? Yeah. So we think so. We are around here. Fucking hell, it doesn't work like that, does it? Yeah, no. So, yeah, no. So this system that we're building here for our tower defense with these waypoints doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work with distances. Definitely doesn't work with distances. Distances are not usable here. We can't use distances because we have an S, right? And when you have an S, distances will not help you here. So even turning it around gives you the same problem in the opposite direction. So to resolve this, what we do is we need to either keep track of each one of these for each minion and say, hey, each minion, this is as far as you've gone in a map, right? So this is when you need to be. I've thought about tracking like the X position or something like that. That's another way. Like if you know you're progressing towards X, towards plus X, you could do it in that way. Like in this map, it would work 100%. Because like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they give you a progression in the X direction. But if you had an S to this side and then you wanted to like turn around here, it wouldn't work. So it would limit you a lot. So you have to be considerate of that. If you want more efficiency, you can definitely use a system like this, and it would be very efficient. And you would just limit yourself and not being able to use maps that go like an S, like a proper S. Outside of the all your maps will need to, all your paths will need to go somehow always towards X, right? Always plus X or minus X, something like that. But they will always need to go in one direction. So yeah, this is a problem that limits us a lot. So we don't want that. Let's make a better solution for this. Let's provide a better solution for this. How do we solve it? Well, what we do is we either keep track of the positions, we either keep track of the waypoint for each one, for the waypoints for each one of the minions. But that's a problem for us here because we're building a tool. We're not making a game. If we were making a game, these were minions, we'd just say, hey, how far have you progressed? How many waypoints have you done? And we just say, yeah, that would be the easy solution, right? Which is what we avoided in the first place. And that's what we were using distances. So if you're doing a tower defense, that's what you're doing. That's the way to do it. You just give them the waypoints that they haven't traversed yet, right? So you have like the map waypoints thing, and you will use that. But that's not the case in this for this. So we need to pollute the minion with a very tower defense specific thing. So how do we abstract this solution to make sure that it's not tower defense specific? That is why we're going through all of this. All of these problems that we're going through are because we're making a tool that we want it to be as generic as possible and doesn't limit your ability to make anything you want with this. And that's how you think when you make a tool, right? That's how you think when you make a tool. You don't go through specific, you don't build a specific thing. You build generalities, right? And you make specific things that solve generalities, solve different things in a general spectrum. And the more you can extend this, right, it doesn't limit the capacity to be extendable for different situations. So we're thinking about an RTS, we're thinking about think about the minion as an NPC, something in any game, right? You could use this system, we could use this system, like this exact same system. So yeah, so that's what we have, the game logic given the waypoints of the minion, and the minion is very generic. The minion just knows about waypoints and moves around, says, okay, let's go to the next one, let's go to the next one. Oh, there's an enemy. Okay, this is my waypoint now. Fight the enemy. Okay, now I don't have any enemies. Where do I go? What do I do? So the game logic says, go here. And that's what we have this thing here, right? Set minion waypoints. We're doing set waypoints to idle minions. And that's what we're doing. So, and that's what we're going through all these problems, by the way. That's what we're going through all these issues. For anyone catching up right now. Friendmaster saying, right, making a system as generic as possible will be a challenge. Exactly. That's the challenge we're going through. And that's the challenge I'm going for here. And I'm taking that challenge and totally taking it in. I love making tools. This is the thing I love doing. So, I don't take the easy route. I could take the easy pathway. I could take the easy waypoints. But I haven't taken the easy waypoints. I've decided, let's take the complicated waypoints to the place where we need to go, because we need to make sure that everyone can take different waypoints and reach the same place, sort of, right? Or maybe you want to go to a different place, but you want to use the same waypoints. So maybe I should give you waypoints that you can move around, right? To reach different destinations, a range of destinations that are within those waypoints, right? Those waypoints can reach. The more specific I get, the less options you have to get to the place you want to go. So, yeah, you'll have to start messing around with it. And the idea is that you would need to mess around with this as little as possible to get to you want to go. So, we're setting the minions waypoints, and this is where the solution should be. The solution should be here where we're setting the waypoints. The place we're setting the waypoints is where we're deciding where you go now that you're here, you've fought a minion, you've done something else, and it's not going to your destination, and now you need to keep moving. And so, okay, let's think about this. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Okay, so what if we trace a line? Because I'm thinking of this as a line. Okay, think of this as a line, right? And we're not thinking about distances here. We're thinking about a line. Okay, we're not thinking about the distance. The points of the line could be anywhere. So we don't really care. We care about the points just as, you know, as inflections in the line, just little curvatures in the line where we just turning around. Oh, I touched this mouse here and moved everything. So if we're thinking about the movement here, if we're going from here to here, right? This line is doing this. Think about the path as the line. That's a good way to think about it. We can't come from here to here because, and now we think about it. Now this is a good way to think about this. So we can't cross here because we need to follow the line, right? So how do we know we're following the line? So that's the question we need to ask ourselves. That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And that question, that the solution to that question is the answer to that question is the solution to our problem. So let's ask the question and try to solve that. If we follow this line, right, from point A to point B, that is a S-like line, right? We know we're here, right? We know we're moving from point A to point B. We fight a minion here. Now we need to say, okay, where do we go? Well, these are the waypoints. Now we need to figure out what's the next waypoint to go to. So point 0, definitely not, because we left from point 0 always, right? So we're not going to point 0. We're not using point 0. Point 1, well, how do we know we're not going to point 1? Right? What if we were here, right? And the next point is here, right? So we could be closer to 0 than to 1. That's just to give you, to try to, you know, make the point that distances here don't matter, right? Distances here we can't think of distances. We're thinking about the line between those points. And we know for a fact that if we can't think of distances, because we were making triangles here, we were making these sort of triangulations, but these triangles are not going to be enough. Right, we're doing this, right? We were doing this triangle, right? So say we're here to here to here to here, right? And the hypotenuse is sort of pointing at the greater distance, right? So this is the greater distance in this case, right? Thinking about this guy here, right? From here to here, right? And from here to here to here, right? We have the hypotenuse is this. So we have, this is the bigger distance, right? So what if we have this guy around here, right? Where he could be closer to, well, let's think of the other one, the other lad, which is, yeah, this guy, because he's the one that's actually going to be moving. Could be closer to this than to this, 100%, right? So we could say that, yeah, maybe this is the hypotenuse here. I don't know. This is the larger distance. Yeah, so we can't think of distances. No, can't think of distances. So we're not going from 0. We're not from 0 to 1. Is it a point from 0 to 1? We know we're going to be around it. We know exactly where, because it's not a straight line, right? We could be fighting like this guy. We could be fighting, say we fall here, right? Right in the corner, right there, like right by the side of the street. And now, so we're not like in a perfect line here. So that's what we're making triangles. That's what we're making. We're assuming a triangle. So, so if we go, from point, I know there's an easy solution for this, and I'm being an idiot. That's the thing, right? I think the problem is that there is an easy solution. I'm just not seeing it. And I think the easy solution is related to something that Friendmaster that said earlier today that I'm thinking now. Because although we have the references to every line, to every part of the line, I think I know where Friendmaster was thinking there, what his thinking was there. It was about the line. It was about the connection between them, right? So if we think about that connection, that relationship, right, which is, I think the important part is the relationship from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, right? Then we know where we need to, then we know where we can't cross. Or maybe that can help us figure out where we can't cross, right? Say we are from point 1 and we have point 1. So we just went to point 1 before, we're there in the corner there, and now we have to figure out, okay, where are we, in the system we currently have, we're saying, oh, are we closer from point 0, from point 1 than point 0 is from point 1? We're saying, yes, we're closer to point 1, so we know we're in that radius. Okay, now, are we closer from point 1 to point 2? Are we closer from point 2 than point 1 is of point 2? Yes, because because of that distance, right? We know we are. That's okay. And we know we have to come here. That's the thing, right? We know we have to come here. So the answer is not in the triangles that we form with these things, but where in the triangles of the formed by the map we need to be in. I don't know if I'm being clear there. I think I'm making more confusion. I think I'm creating more confusion. Way more confusion. Yeah, because doesn't make any sense also. It doesn't make any sense. I'm saying something that probably sounds more silly than actually, because there's no real other triangle. There's 2 points, right? I know. But as my head thinks, I'm talking out loud and just, I'm not making sense. My words don't make sense, but in my head it makes sense. I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's an easy solution. Okay, there is an easy solution. And I think it's yeah, it's the easiest solution. It's not that easy actually. I'm thinking I thought it may be easy, but no, it's actually not. It's actually not that easy. Because I was thinking if there were like simply having colliders, like zone colliders, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, we could solve it very easily. Simply with zones, which zone are you in? And if you're in zone 1, you go to, zone 2. You go to the start of zone 2. That's an easy one. We could definitely do that. And simply have a start and end to zones, sort of go into... and we could even use that as a range. We could use that as kind of, well, maybe not, I don't know. but yeah, having that as the solution, as a kind of solution, I think. But the problem is that we would need a proper mesh that joins together, because the problem is in the binds, in the places where in the joints here, right? In the very little joints here, we're gonna have some overlaps if we use something like boxes, right? And yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So and if you fight here on the side, and you start touching both of them, you prioritize going to the next one, right? To the end of the next one. What do you prioritize? So that's kind of the what do you do here? Yeah, that's the part that I'm going like, I don't know. Yeah. That's the part that's confusing. But thinking about it in zones, I don't want to use colliders if I can, like colliders for this, if I can, because it's a more specific solution. It needs more infrastructure instead of just waypoints. I would much rather solve it with waypoints. Like chained waypoints, like properly chained waypoints, like kind of the idea that Friend Master was going about with that. But maybe whiteboard it in Paint or GIMP, just try to illustrate the dilemma. That's a good idea. That may be a good idea actually. To paint it there, but I don't have the I have GIMP here, and I don't want to. Here's the thing: I don't want to open more software and cause a break up here. But I should probably like take this and rethink the problem later. Maybe I'll draw it in paper or something like that, and properly draw it. And but yeah, I'm trying to think of it in a more math-like way, right? In a more in mathematics, as if I'm great at it. I'm not, but I'm not great at them, but they may be great for me. So let's use that. Let's use that in our favor. The maths may love us one day. So okay, here's the thing, right? Hear me out. Hear me out. We have an S, right? We have an S. Think of this as a triangle, okay? From here to here, here to here, okay? If we divide the triangle in two, we have two triangles, right? And if we know that if we are in this side of the triangle, then we are from point 1 to point 2. Right? So we should be going to point 2. If you're on this side of a triangle, any place within this triangle, right? Anywhere, we know we should be going from point 1 to point 2, right? From this side. The problem is the outside of a triangle, right? Like this triangle, we have to form a triangle on the outside as well, right? And what if we fall outside of this triangle? That's the other problem, right? Because the triangle, like we can't have enemies here, like outside of the triangles, right? Let me explain this. Let me explain it this way. One side of the triangle, another side of the triangle, right? And we have a whole triangle there with a big hypotenuse here. And this will cut down here, right? Right through the path. So we can't have enemies on this side, right? We can't fight here. Because if we fight here, we're lost. Like, where are we? Where are we? We get lost. Unless we duplicate the triangle, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, in this case, we'll be dividing the triangle with the points that we have here, right? So we know we are in this, if we have like, if we duplicate each triangle, right? So this side, we get a triangle here, right? We duplicate the triangle to this other side, right? That other side. So this triangle, flip it to the other side. And we have the whole path there. So we could think of it like a square with two triangles maybe. And what if the point was here? Like what if this point were here? Because we're assuming always a progressive map, right? That we're progressing on X. But let's think that we're not progressing on X, right? Let's think that we're doing, you know, this, and this, okay? This is the problem. This is the actual problem we have. So let's think about it that way. We have a triangle here, right? We divide it in two on this side, right? We divide it in, like, we find the midpoint between point 0 and point 1 and point 2. And we cut it down that point, right? And we know that if we are on this triangle, right, on this side of the triangle, or it's so we form a square with that triangle, probably form a square with that, like we have from here to here, here to here, and if we go all the way there and all the way there and all the way here, right? And yeah, and the problem is that we should probably duplicate it the other side as well, and that will create another issue because we may have other things here. So no, that's a problem as well. Oh, we have someone here bringing more information. Beautiful. And on YouTube, people talking on YouTube right now. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Leave a like for my struggles. Fuji lives, or Fuji lives. Tell me, is that Fuji lives? No, Fuji lives, right? That's how it goes, right? And could you just have an additional waypoint that gets created says, after a stop at their location, and then deleted when they pass the next waypoint, and then creates it again when they stop again. That way you could use their stop point as a reference to the upcoming waypoint, so it doesn't try to backtrack. The thing is, here's the problem. Okay, let me rephrase the problem, because I think you're on the right track, but but I don't know if you called the whole thing. But the problem is that when we fight an enemy, right, that enemy becomes your waypoints, right? That enemy, we're saying, okay, follow enemy and kill enemy, right? But when you follow enemy, that enemy is now your waypoint. So we're receiving the waypoint from that enemy saying, okay, go there. So the problem with this is that basically now waypoints are the things that move us, right? So when you start here, when the enemy starts here, and 0 is given the waypoints by the game logic. The game logic says, these are the waypoints, right? So it gives you this list and says, go ahead, little minion, run. And when you find an enemy here, your waypoints get swapped because now you go and fight that minion. And the problem is that, of course, we're trying to keep generalistic here, a generalistic perspective. So think that if we fight this minion here, now we fought this minion, we killed them, and now we need to move to the next waypoint. So we need to find that next waypoint with the whole amount of waypoints that we have within this full list, right? We don't know what waypoints we were in because we swapped our waypoints. Because the idea is that we're waypoint independent in a way, right? So the game logic should know, okay, these are the waypoints you have to do now. And that's the problem we're facing, right? So what I understand from what you're saying, maybe I'm getting it incorrectly, is that we should have like we could add like a stop point, like where we stopped, and like keep the reference of the stop point, right? But the thing is, that would be the same as simply like not using the waypoints, and maybe just saying, hey, just go find target if you have target, and use that as waypoint, and keep your current waypoints and the waypoint index, right? That's the easiest solution of all. What we're trying to do is say, hey, maybe what I'm trying to get around that. I'm trying to get around that solution to say, what if instead of doing that, we generalize the waypoints so that it's always waypoints doing the job? Because here's the thing, we could solve this very easily. We could have solved this very easily at the beginning when we created the follow thing. Let me show you here in the move where we're moving. We're looking at the next waypoint. We're saying 0 here, and saying the waypoints is, okay, we have enemies greater length 0, and we're saying waypoints equals enemy 0 object 3D. So we're just passing in the enemy as the object to follow. Okay, so let's say we don't do this. Let's comment that. And so what we do is apply state. Yeah, in apply state here, when we start moving, where are we using the waypoint? The current, let's use current waypoint. We need current waypoint. Where is current waypoint? Where is current waypoint? So we have current waypoint here. Okay. So here, what we're doing is we're saying, if we have a current waypoint, right, we will look at the current waypoint, right, and we'll rotate towards, yeah, we'll look at it and we'll do the rotation, like do the whole full body rotation with the quaternion, with the body quaternion, so that we move physically as well, right? We move the physics as well. But instead of doing that, we could say, let me give you the yeah, the easy one here. Const waypoint equals, let's call it curve waypoint. this dot target, sorry, enemies dot length is greater than 0. We'll say that is this enemies 0, right? Dot object 3D, and otherwise this dot current waypoint, yeah, right. So we remove every reference there. Okay, and now this will work. Should 100% work. Well, yeah, we need to get this guy close and to fight. Let's see. Yeah, so they'll fight here. These other lads are gonna start coming in. Okay, that guy's dead. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, I moved the waypoint. Remember that I moved the waypoint, right? Yeah. So start turning the other way. Oh no, we have to start from ground up. Okay, we need to make them faster, but let's leave it like this. More suspense, more suspense, more suspense for us. Yeah. So this will 100% work. This will work. I'm like 99.99% sure that it will work. Okay, they'll fight. So they're fighting. They're killing each other. Okay, there you go. Let's pull this thing further away. Just to make a point. Let's pull it further away. And let's make this one a bit closer. So that if we have any problems like this, make this one very close by. Just to make sure they, you know, they have like this one's closer. This one's actually closer. Which would cause an issue. Let's cause the issue. Because they'll be fighting here. So they'll be closer to here than here. But that won't matter now. Oh, no, right. Because we... yeah. We have the idle thing here going on, right? Yeah, we have the thing, this thing here. We should remove that. Set waypoints to idle minions. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, let's play. We're never resetting the waypoints, right? I think we're not resetting the waypoints. Let's look at it because I think we're not. But maybe we are. I don't know now. But yeah, this is the lazy solution, right? This is the solution that we were going to go at the very first and we didn't. We're resetting the waypoints. Yeah, we are resetting them. So, what are we saying? Where are we resetting the waypoints? Current waypoint 0. Saying go to next waypoint. Current waypoint. So we should, yeah, if we have it. Okay, here we're saying that if we have enemies greater than length greater than 0, we're returning. So we're never going actually here if we have enemies. So we're not really ever like doing anything here otherwise. But we want to make sure that we're using the waypoint, like we're using the current waypoint to move at least to the enemy. But we're never resetting the waypoints. That's what we want to do, right? Like we're trying to test the lazy solution. Let's test the lazy solution. And maybe from the lazy solution, we'll reach the good solution, right? Okay, look at that. Look at this. Okay, we are resetting it here. We are resetting it here. Yeah, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Yeah, let's not do this, okay? Well, maybe let's just copy origin here, and that's it. Let's see. I think that will work. I think that will work. And let's make this one. Let's come here to the prefabs. And let's make this one a bit faster, because I think it's just too slow, and it's slowing us down too much. Let's go twice as fast. Let's make it twice as fast. Yeah, let's make it twice as fast. And yeah, so they're fighting there. There you go. They're coming in. They're coming in. They're gonna fight with us. They're fighting. They're fighting. Okay, they're gonna pile up. Yeah, we don't have like a way to unpile up. We can do more damage. Yeah, no, that didn't work. Why? Because of origin. Because we changed the origin. Let's do it again. Yeah, we broke the whole system, right? The system was, that's why the minions like crossed over. Yeah, they did the same as the minions there. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing now. It's been too long. It's been too long. Let's rethink the problem. I need to actually go and yeah, I need to go now. But I will think about this issue, and I'll come back on Thursday with a solution. I promise. On Thursday I'll come back with a solution, because I don't want to waste your time anymore. I'll make a decision. I'm either going to use zones. I think zones are a much better way to do this. A proper way to handle this is with zones, I think. Because it's more like... okay. We can either handle this with zones and make it generic and have a system there, but maybe we have a stupid system that anyway people are going to use something else, and we're just adding something up that nobody will use. Or maybe everyone uses it, I don't know. So the point is, maybe we keep the waypoints, but keep track of the waypoints, so that stop point that Fuji Lives was saying. So the current system, the thing that we're testing now, the lazy solution, that we were going to do at the beginning, and we said, hey, no, because, hey, this could be a problem, because we need to pollute the minion in that way, right? And we need to follow the target itself and not follow the waypoint, which I thought was probably in a very dogmatic way. I thought that it could be a non-generalization, that could be an issue. But hey, we can resolve this. We can resolve this, I think, in a fairly easy way. I'm going to think of this problem, and I'm going to come back with it, okay, with a solution. I promise. And the solution is going to be great. Either way, whatever it is, even if it's bad, it's going to be great. Just because we have a solution, we can move on. And Offer a Master 2000 saying, thanks for the help once again. I barely helped you, mate. I don't know what I think I barely helped. I don't think I think you had it all figured out there by yourself, mate. And no psychiatric bet. We don't need best viewers, a stream bot thing. No, thank you very much. Let's add to the block list. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for everyone to everyone for joining. It was a great live stream. I think we had some pretty complicated issues to resolve there. We have nice rants, 2 nice rants at the very beginning, which I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'm gonna come back with a solution. I'm gonna come back with more content for you, so that you can watch me suffer here. Apparently, according to Friendmaster 2000, watching me struggle here is fun and it's nice or something. So my suffering is actually making you happy, which is something to talk to a doctor about. I think, it's very worrying. Like, it's like, I think it's like kind of like Big Brother thing, when you watch Big Brother, people fight each other, in Big Brother. I never watched Big Brother, but I hear people talking about Big Brother, like they like watching people fight about stupid shit, you know, like why even people watch that shit? But I guess it's fun to watch people suffer, I guess. So live torture, live. This is what you get. This is what you get. All right. Thank you so much for joining. I promise to come back with a solution Thursday, same time, about 7 p.m. GMT. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.